text. You have a regular paragraph, you have lists that are unordered or ordered, so that ordered list has a sequence, unordered list doesn't have one, like bullets. And then table allows you to compare information in two axes, okay? So these are the very basic textual configurations. Okay, now I'm going to show you each one. So paragraphs, basically, it's a group of coherent ideas in a text block format. Okay. Here, the differentiation between the paragraphs are not clear. Okay, because only a line break is used. Yeah. Here, it's a little bit better, but it's quite subtle. Yeah. Just a first line indent. The first paragraph really doesn't need an indent because it's obvious that it's the first paragraph. So we don't need to have an indent there. Instead of indents, you can have paragraph spaces. Right here, there are blank lines, basically. But you can control this space, actually. This might be a little bit too big. Smaller, it's already enough, right? So there's a stronger separation if you have space between the paragraphs. But a single line space is usually too large. Again, you use line rules to separate them, but they become very discrete from each other. You really separate them. There might be reasons why you want to do that. Yeah. Lists are enumerations of similar items. Don't put things that are unrelated in a list. It doesn't work like that. Similar things. They should be parallel in meaning. Okay. Enumeration. 數出嚟嘅. Okay. The Ten Commandments, okay, is an unordered list. Right here, it doesn't have any differentiation except there's a line break. With a bullet, it's easy to see that it is an enumeration of 10 items. If you have numbering, it means that there is an order to it. Okay, of course there's an order to this. All right, it doesn't look so nice with the 10 like that. So you can adjust these things so it's easier to navigate. Do you really need the dots? Not really. It works just as well because you have space. And if you align the numbers on the right, it's even easier to see. If you make the bold, it's even easier to access. Right? See how typography is an interface, right? See how typography is an interface. Okay. File regulations. Not easy to see that this is a list because some of the items wrap around on two lines. So how do we make it clear as a list? We can add space between the items, okay, a little bit better. We can add bullets, but the lines are not aligned like that. It's a bit difficult to understand. So you have hanging indents that make it easier to understand. If you want to further differentiate, so there's a space there. Well, okay, you don't need capitals, but this makes it a lot easier to understand at a glance. Yeah. Red bullets, square bullets. Okay. Tables. Comparisons shown on two axes. You can compare things with the same criteria, same sets of criteria. Okay. So this is usually what people do in Microsoft Word. It looks terrible, you don't want to read it. Edward Tufte calls this kind of like a data prison. The data is imprisoned in the grid. Right? Centering makes it even worse. So aligning everything to the left already improves it. Adding more space, more clear space inside the cells, make it easier. Making the grid less apparent also helps because the grid is supposed to be only a guidance for you to understand the table. So do you really need the vertical lines? Not really, because the cells already aligned. So the header is differentiated with blue text. The lines are blue as well. If you only have one color to work with, this would be quite effective as well. If you want to use vertical lines, that means you might want to kind of emphasize emphasize the vertical comparisons a bit more than the horizontal, right? So these are ways to improve access to information through the use of typography. This is a data table. Data table means you have numerical data you can compare. So again, you do things like that. You can emphasize a certain column. You can emphasize the subheads. So a lot of considerations with these things that you think is just typing. It's not. You're a designer. These things have to be designed. And typography is a way to access text through an interface of some sort. Okay. Captions. This is quite simple. Okay. Too close to the picture is supposed to show a relationship between the picture and the explanation. This is a bit better. This is great. This is also possible. This is also okay. A caption is not title. Okay. All right. 有你，唔係咯喎。唔係。Typographic decisions. Sorry. Consideration. Sorry. 打錯咗。Okay. OK 啊，頭先個 section 2。Okay. Fine. All right. I don't know if I want to skip this. 幾點嚟㗎
？45分可以睇。
skip 咗你就繼續，繼續做第啲。Okay. 我先 display typography 就係啲 typography 有 attract 你嘅 attention 嘅。For example, book covers。講唔講好咧？你哋想唔想？你哋就唔使㗎啦，都。你哋想唔想啊？但我3點要開會寫好多嘢。我寧願講俾你，我寧願同你哋 share 呢啲嘢好過我上去開會。講真，我想上開會。咁點咧 ？OK， 你哋上到幾點㗎？
我哋上到5點半咯，今日5點咧就早咗。
Okay, so I don't want to make it too overwhelming for you guys because you guys probably don't think about these things so much. You guys probably are okay with these things. So you need to look closely at type. It's not just when you choose a typeface, it's not, oh, I like this looks cool, this looks different. It's not about that. There are so many kind of intricate details that you have to look at. If you look at the inside shape of it, oh, see how the curve is kind of even like this? It's a perfect circle. This one changes from thin to thick. This one changes from thin to thick really dramatically. So these are the things that you look out for. I'm only showing you I don't want to show you too many things. But a very basic way to differentiate them is serif, 有腳, sans serif, 冇腳, display. Oh, this is, I don't have the fonts here, sorry. It's another script anyway. Okay. Try to be careful when you use these things. If you don't know how they work, then use something that doesn't look too crazy. Okay. These are fine. These are useful. Okay. So Paulina says here in aesthetic terms, the ideal typeface for continuous prose can be described as one that is just interesting enough to impart some flavor without making itself the focus of the design. If you look at this typeface here, really on that type. Iris, you can see it. These stanza 好冇味道嘅 typeface， 即係冇味道意思係你唔會 notice the typeface, but it works really well. That's a useful typeface. It's beautiful, I think. But it doesn't mean it has to shout at you for every sentence. You don't want that to happen. Which one is more legible? 問下你哋啦，你哋寫。會啊，睇唔到啊，睇唔到。你哋覺得咧邊個 legible 啲啊？上面嗰個穩陣啲啦，係咪？下面嗰個太多右線啦，如果你細 text 就 you can't see them. Okay. So we call this an oblique axis of contrast. Okay. If you want to know more, you can buy this. It's $15. I wrote this. You can buy this. You guys don't buy it. It's offset printed now. $15. Okay. I'm not going to explain too much now. Okay. Which one is stronger? Obviously, this one is much stronger. This one is very delicate. So this one works at low resolution, at small sizes. This one doesn't. Yeah. This one's better. I already showed you this one. These are not terribly good typefaces for reading because the shapes are too regular. 太似啊啲 shapes, okay? This one is mostly vertical and very square. This one is very geometric. Be careful about these. The body text is hard to read. Be careful about the I, the 1, and the small letter L, because sometimes they're very indistinguishable. Like Gyosan's, they're exactly the same. So this one, obviously the sand, this works quite well. So sometimes you really need that to be perfectly clear for the reader. Maybe other times you don't. I probably don't want to say too much about this, just buy it. Okay. So double story G, single story G, you know. This one is better for text, these are not. So point size, when we're talking about point size of a typeface, we are measuring from the bottom of the descender to the top of the ascender. So there's space in between that we have to measure as well. So compared to Chinese, the Chinese actually is always bigger because it fits much fuller in a square, right? So if you have two different typefaces set the same point size, they look like different sizes because the X heights are different. Yeah, you guys already know this is too basic for you. Okay. So if you want to make typefaces with different X height that look like they're the same size, you need to adjust, right? So to equalize them. So if you want to combine a typeface with another one, you need to adjust the point size for that smaller typeface so it matches with the other typeface. Okay.